Hello Tokusatsu community and welcome back to my SODO Sunday series here on the Toku Toy Store YouTube channel. This is a series where I cover all of the latest SODO, SHODO, and Uniline figure news from Japan. Today we have Kamen Rider Revice news that's actually about Kamen Rider Revice, as they kind of play some catch up on some of the Geno mixes. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. So everything being talked about this week is from SODO by 8, which is going to be the set coming out in early June. And it's basically just kind of a catch-up wave. It's kind of, well, we've already been talking about it. So far, the non-Revice characters in it have been from the new Genmu and Thouser special that came out a couple of weeks ago. So, you know, those new forms we talked about already, and they look really, really good. But moving over to the Revice side of things, the first form that they've shown us is the Condor Genome. So this is a repaint of the Eagle Genome that's based off of Kamen Rider Double, and this time it's based off of Kamen Rider Joker. So the stamp was used in the show briefly by Kamen Rider Demons and not by Revice. However, in the Kamen Rider Beyond Generations film, which was the Saber and Revice kind of team-up film, they do actually use this, kind of. They don't actually use it for the actual, like, typical Genomix form, but they use it to go straight to the remix form where it's the Giant Condor. So they are going to be getting the pieces to make the Giant Condor form of this, but basically, since it's going to require the Revi and Vice versions of Condor anyway, you're going to be able to just have them in the regular Condor genome form. So this is pretty cool. It's kind of a SODO exclusive thing, sort of. We have seen pictures of what this would have looked like in the promo material for the Condor stamp, but the actual form that showed up on screen was only the remix. But this is kind of continuing SODO's tradition of doing very not much seen forms. So, you know, like the Dr. Game form from Build, when he used that for like a split second before he just became X8, stuff like that. They would bring it up as examples of like, hey, we still do some of the most obscure things here in the SODO line. And then speaking of catch up with remix forms, so I had completely forgotten that we never got Vice's form of Brachio or Kon, the Forza and Geo forms. But we hadn't. I completely forgot that we hadn't because we got the Revi version of those in a couple sets ago. But we are now finally going to be getting the Kon and Brachio genomes for Kamen Rider Vice. So these are basically repaints of each other, so it does make sense that they are coming out in the same set. And of course, if we have both forms of the genome, what is going to happen next? Of course, the remix forms. So they are going to finally allow us to make the remix forms for Brachio and for Kon, which look just as wonderfully ridiculous as you would probably expect them to look. Brachio is one of my favorite remix forms. I just love that they have the big watch band make the neck of the Brachio. That is absolutely hilarious to me. But you're going to be able to do it here in by 8 alongside the Condor genome, and that we talked about all the Genmu stuff. So yeah, that's so far all we have for by 8 coming out in June. But I don't think that's the end of the set yet. I think there's like 1 or 2 more figures that they still have to reveal, maybe at least 1, because they haven't shown off like the layout of all the boxes yet, and they usually do that when they're done revealing an entire set. And that's all we have to talk about for this week. Of course, until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or at LightningTwigPR. You can check out other Tokusatsu related content from me on YouTube at Geek Each Week, Toku Topics, and SODO Pop. And I'll see you all next time. Tokusatsu forever.